Chapter: Late doesn't mean not coming. I hear music. The double doors to the town community center are propped wide open, a rectangle of yellow light spread on the sidewalk. David jumps into the box of light. He waves his fingers in excitement, watching his shadow. Catherine, next time you need to plan better, Dad says. I can't leave work for something like this. I watch David jumping, his shadow hands fluttering. You take David to the video store every time he has OT. That's different. Different because it's him? Dad huffs, turning to me. David needs... I know what he needs, believe me. I push my way past Dad, not even caring that I'm yelling. Maybe he does need you more than me, but that doesn't mean I don't need anything at all. Go inside? David asks as I step on his shadow. Ask Dad. He's in charge. My throat is raw. Looking ahead to the community center, I've never felt so alone. I hear footsteps coming up behind me. Kath? I have to matter too, I say. As much as work and your garden and even as much as David, I need you too. I feel his arm go around me, turning me to face his shoulder. You matter, Dad says, holding me. Even though strangers glance at us as they pass, I hold him tight. Would you stay until I know if Jason's coming? Sure. My forehead pressed into the hollow of Dad's shoulder. His shirt smells sickly sweet, like cherry cough syrup from the pharmacy, but I don't care. And can I borrow some money? I spent all mine on Jason's present. Dad digs in his pocket with his free hand. Here's extra so you can call me when you're ready to come home. I'll come as soon as you call. Go inside? David asks. I nod. I'm ready. Inside the doors, a woman looks up from the admission table. The poster I made is taped on the wall behind her. Welcome, she says, opening her cash box. Are you here for the dance? My daughter is. My son and I are only here until her friend comes. Dad pays for all of us, but David doesn't want his hand stamped. Watch, it doesn't hurt. I hold my hand out and the lady says, Would you like a flower or a frog or a dragonfly? A frog, please. She presses the stamp onto the back of my hand and I show David. Look, it's Frog. David holds his hand out to me and I turn it over so she can stamp the back. Something smells good, Dad says. We have a bake sale going on and there's popcorn and soda. The woman points down the hall toward tables piled with brownies and cookies. Everything is 50 cents or $1, but you can't bring food or drinks into the gym. It's the rule, David says. Ahead, there's a scatter of flyers on the bulletin board, and the doorway to the gym is surrounded with colored streamers and twinkly white Christmas lights. Dad stops to talk to someone at a long table selling t-shirts with the community center logo on them, and I hear snips of the conversation. Lots of kids. Lovely night. The pharmacy is good. Beside me, David steps close to the lights, his fingers flickering at his sides, fast as moth wings. The lights are beautiful, aren't they? I say. Like hundreds of stars. Like stars, David says. Make a wish, Frog. I close my eyes and reach in my skirt pocket, fingering the money Dad gave me. From inside the gym, a song starts. A fast, wonderful, bursting with life song. When I open my eyes, David's staring at me, inches from my face. Most people say if you tell a wish, it won't come true. But I don't think wishes work like that. I don't believe there's some bad-tempered wish fairy with a clipboard checking off whether or not you've told. Oops, you told your wish. No new bike for you. But it's a long shot I'll get my wish, so even if there is a fairy in charge of telling, it won't matter. I wish everyone had the same chances, I say, because it stinks a big one that they don't. What about you? What did you wish for? Grape soda, David says. I can't help smiling. You wish for grape soda? He doesn't answer and I pull my hand from my pocket. Taking one of his fluttering hands, I wrap my fingers tightly around $1. Wish granted, Toad. He takes off running and Dad runs after him. I close my eyes and make a new wish. I wish the refreshment stand has grape soda. Next chapter. A real conversation takes two people. Alone on the bleachers, I run my hands over my knees to wipe the sweat away. In the half-lit gym, the white stripes on the floor and the basketball backboards almost glow. My fingers long for a fat paintbrush to stroke color across the white backboards. Blood red, electric blue, tangerine, blistering colors. But I have nothing to hold and nothing to do but wait. I've checked all along the sides of the gym, across the dance floor, out in the hallway, even past the little offices holding sports equipment. The lit clock above the exit sign barely moves, and I make deals with myself. He'll come when the minute hand is on the 4. The music blares. I can't hear my feet tap, but someone must have spilled a drink because my sandals catch on something sticky. Worry twines in my chest, and I keep unsticking my feet in case I need to run out to find Dad, and tell him I want to go home now. I last saw him and David drinking grape sodas on the stairs. Jason will come when the minute hand is on the 6. Watching kids dancing, I flicker my fingers on my knees. Some of the dancers look goofy. One boy reminds me of David, his elbows bent sharply. But there are so many kids, it doesn't matter. The other dancers make room for him. I see kids from school I recognize, but no Christy or Ryan. My fingers trace a cut in the wood of the bleacher beside me, over and over. I slide my fingers along the groove, feeling every bump. Jason will come when the minute hand is on the 11. It's hot inside the gym from all the kids, and I wish I could get a drink or step outside and breathe some cooler air, but I'm afraid I'll miss Jason. So I lean back, rest my elbows on the bleacher behind me, and look at the ceiling. I imagine the beams gone, the roof pulled away, only the endless night sky above me, full of stars. The song ends, and kids fill in the bleachers around me. Some kids turn back to the dance floor as another song begins. It hurts how life goes on unknowing. All these kids walking by, heading to the dance floor or toward the hallway, not even seeing me. I watch a girl move toward the door. In the bright light from the hallway, she darkens to a shadow passing the outline of a wheelchair in the doorway. Sorry, excuse me. I step around knees and feet, trying not to push but wanting to shove past everyone. I have to get over there. As I come closer, Jason looks at me, eyes narrowing. Mrs. Morehouse stands at his side. I'm glad you're here, I say. I really wanted to talk to you. I'll be in the hall where it's quieter, Mrs. Morehouse says. Come get me if you need me. Excuse me, I call over and over to kids' backs, making room for us to move down the quiet hallway outside the community center offices. Through the windows, I see the dark outline of grape clusters of basketballs, stacked of pointed traffic cones, and a rack of hockey sticks. Standing next to Jason, I don't know what to say to get started. It's a nice night out. Jason turns his wheelchair to leave. Wait! I reach into my skirt pocket and pull out my first word. Complicated. Jason lifts his eyebrows. I kneel to be at his eye level. I see how kids stare at David and it hurts me because I know what they're thinking. Or even worse, they don't look at him, just around him like he's invisible. It makes me mad because it's mean and it makes me feel invisible too. Jason watches my face, but his hand moves to give me room to reach the last empty pockets of his communication book. Hidden. I didn't tell Christy everything about you. I didn't tell her about your wheelchair or your communication book. I didn't know how she'd react. I should have because you're my friend, but it got harder and harder. I drop my gaze to the tiled floor. No, that's an excuse too. The real truth is I was scared what she might think of me, not you. When I look up, Jason is staring toward the dark windows of the community center offices. You're a good friend, I say, and I've been weak. Catherine? I knew this moment was coming, but I still feel caught red-handed. Christy hurries up the hall wearing white jeans and a bright pink shirt. I thought you couldn't come. I'm so happy you changed your mind. Beside her, Ryan puts his hand on her arm. I stand up. Jason, this is Ryan and my next door neighbor, Christy. Her smile slips. Hi. Christy, this is Jason. She glances from Ryan to me to Jason. Happy birthday? Thank you. Christy looks at me, one eyebrow raised. Jason can't talk, so he uses these cards, and I've been making words for him. I smile at Jason. He's my very good, I tap, friend. She looks to where I'm pointing, to the card of a girl's hand waving. Jason taps. Catherine talk about you all the time. Really? Christy makes a sound. She could have told me more about you. Ryan pulls Christy's arm. Come on, Chris. I'm sorry, I say. I should have told you the truth. Yeah, she says flatly, not looking at me. You should have. I'll see you around. As they walk away, I open my hand to show Jason my last card. I have one more. He shakes his head. Don't want it. I fold guilty until it's so small it won't fold again. Jason starts his wheelchair down the hall. Wait, I say, rushing to catch him. Where are you going? Dance. Do you want to come? But I don't break dance rule. David tips his head down, looking under his eyebrows at me, like he's expecting me to blast off on a wild, chatty detour. And a detour sits on my tongue like an airplane waiting on the runway. All systems go, cleared for takeoff. All right. I follow him down the hallway and out across the dark gym floor to the very center where there's a clearing in the kids. Next to me, a girl lifts her arm above her head. One by one, the other dancers join her, palms reaching upward, swaying back and forth. Jason joins them, palms open. Standing there in the middle of the floor in front of everyone, I lift my hands and reach for the ceiling, the sky, the stars, and I dance. Last chapter. If you need to borrow words, Arnold Lobel wrote some good ones. Before I climb into bed, I circle the date on my calendar when Melissa will be home. I have so much to tell her, not the least of which is I danced with a boy who isn't even related to me, and I liked it. And on Tuesday, I'm not bringing my backpack to the clinic. Only me. If Jason needs a word, I'll make it, but I'll wait for him to ask. I lift my shade and I imagine a beam flashing from Christy's dark window, counting dashes and dots. Are you there? But there is no light. Her window stays dark, only the street lamps and the stars shine, white brightness. The tiniest knock comes and my door creaks open. David stands framed in the light from the living room. No toys in the fish tank. I slide my slippers on and follow. In the aquarium, a toy wizard stands on the gravel, his wand raised mid-spell. Standing beside the castle, he's so big only his pointy shoe would fit through the tiny castle door. Oops, wrong spell. And instead of a fierce dragon to slay, a huge, curious goldfish mouths the end of the wizard's hat. I can't help but laugh. Why? What are you laughing at, Frog? David asks, worried lines cutting his forehead. I touch the tiny frog stamp on his hand and show him mine. I'm laughing at you, Toad, said Frog, because you do look funny in your bathing suit. David smiles. Of course I do, says Toad. Then he picked up his clothes and went home. The end. Tomorrow I'm going to tell Mom she has a point about David needing his own words, but other things matter too, like sharing something small and special, just my brother and me. Kneeling beside David, our arms touching, our faces reflect side by side in the glass. I let that be enough. The end.